Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of FPL Fanzone. My name's Nick, and in today's episode we're going to go through a tale of woe, which is my Game Week 6 wildcard results, and then take an early look into the thoughts and processes of what I'm going to be doing moving into Game Week 7. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you are watching this video or if you're new to the channel, and leave any comments below to let me know how well you did in Game Week 6 and your early thoughts for the upcoming game week. So without further ado, let's get started. So the template wildcard absolutely tanked in game week 6. And if you look at my team, it was no difference. 38 points, dropped another 900,000 places to 5.3 million in the world. So now in bottom half of all players that are actually playing the game right now. And life is not great. But one thing I have to remember is all we're doing is moving some shirts around on a screen. So this isn't the be all and end all for everything, everyone. We will turn this around. We will start to go back up those ranks soon. Hopefully start getting some green arrows. But let's have a quick look at the team and where we go from here. So starting off in goal, we have Flecken, who got 2 points. Again, still no clean sheets for Brentford this season. Struggling there. I do also have Pickford in goal as well, and Everton conceded. So neither of my two keepers kept a clean sheet this week. In defence, Saliba, 0 points, yellow card, conceded 2 goals. Not great. But the Arsenal defence had a 0.27 expected goals conceded, and yet still conceded 2 goals against Leicester this week. Gabriel, 2 points. Trent Alexander-Arnold, 1 point. Saka, 3 points. Then my midfield three of Semenyo, 7 points, coming in clutch at the end of the game week. And Bueno, 9 points, scoring lots of goals at the moment. Really happy he's in the team and rising in price regularly as well. And then I brought in Rodgers, even though I was thinking about bringing in Onana as a differentiator. Glad I didn't do that. It's one thing that did work in my favour. He got 7 points and another goal this week. So he's starting to find the net and get the goal involvement as well. I captained Luis Diaz, who blanked. The thought process was correct. Obviously, Wolves are poor defensively, but just Diaz just was not on it in this game. I bring in Haaland. He blanked for 2 points. And then Chris Wood, 2 points as well. So just realistically, all of my big hitters not scoring, all of my expensive players not scoring, my less expensive players getting me some points in midfield. But again, another 900,000 places dropped. It's getting tough for this team right now. So as always, let's look at the options that I had. And obviously on the wildcard week, it's difficult because you go through so many options, you try so many players, you tinker so much that you can look back and go, oh, this could have happened or this could have happened. My first option that I had, which I did do, which was Raya was a risk. He was yellow flagged. I did get some early news that he was travelled with the team, so it was likely that he was going to start. But I didn't want that risk or that headache if he didn't start. So I went for Flecken and Pickford. And then I broke one of my cardinal rules of making a last minute change. And because I went for Flecken and Pickford, it freed up an Arsenal spot. And I dropped Gvardiol and brought in Saliba to make sure I was doubled up on that Arsenal defence. So while Raya did start and only got 1 point, and Flecken actually got 2 points, so there was a +1 there. By dropping Gvardiol, who then went on to score a goal and get 9 points, compared to Saliba, who got 0 points because of the yellow card, I actually ended up 8 points down due to that last minute change. So not a great start there, and that was the option that I went with. Option 2 was to go from Luis Diaz to James Maddison. And again, that would have got me an extra point. Maddison got 3 points. Luis Diaz only got 2. Probably would have chosen a different captain at that point. It would have been Haaland, but that wouldn't have made any difference because they both got 2 points there. So again, another point dropped there by not having that option. Option 3, to go with the AI recommended team. Now, bearing in mind that my decision making has been slightly off and I've been dropping points and dropping rank every season, maybe should have just taken the hit, gone with the AI recommended wildcard team. and that would have actually got me an extra 12 points this week as well. So they would have got 50 points this week. I went back and looked at what the AI recommended team was versus my current team, and it would have got 12 points more. So again, another decision that's I've gone the wrong way, and it's helped me drop rank again this week. Option 4 was looking at Rodgers to Onana. Rodgers went and scored a goal and got 7 points. Onana only got 2 points. So actually, if I'd have gone for that option, I would have dropped another 5 points. Could you imagine having only 33 points this week? Would have been an absolute disaster. So glad I didn't go for that one. It was more of an outside punt, and right now I can't be punting. I need to try and get some stability into this team. And then lastly, option 5 was to captain Luis Diaz. And I did this. I think the logic was right there. Liverpool did score goals, but Luis Diaz wasn't involved, and Haaland wasn't inevitable. Of course, I bring him in, and he didn't get any points. So there was no swing there either way. It was worth, I felt, for me taking that risk. It didn't cost me either way. But let me know, guys, how did your team do? Did you wildcard in game week 6? Did you have the same challenges that I have? Did you go template? Were you lucky enough to have someone like Palmer, of course, scored 4 goals in a half, which boosted a lot of people that are in the FPL Fanzone league at the moment. So let me know how you went in with your decisions this week. Okay, but now let's look on the bright side. If I look at my team going into game week 7, right now it looks incredibly strong. Flecken in goal, got Wolves at home. I've got triple Arsenal at home to Southampton. I've got Trent Alexander-Arnold and Luis Diaz away to Crystal Palace, who are looking really poor at the moment. I've got Semenyo away to Leicester, newly promoted side. I've got Umbremo at home to Wolves, who are conceding goals a lot at the moment. I've got Rodgers at home to Man United, who just conceded 3 to Tottenham and are looking really shaky at the moment. I've got Haaland, an absolute goal machine this season, at home to Fulham. And then I've got Chris Wood away to Chelsea. Now that looks like a tough game because they're scoring a lot of goals, but they just conceded another 2 against Brighton this week. And then even on the bench, I've got Pickford as my backup goalkeeper at home to Newcastle, who don't look great going forward at the moment. I've got Calvert-Lewin, who certainly could score goals against Newcastle. And then I've got even my backup defenders, Greaves away to West Ham this week, and Faes at home to Bournemouth. Just looking at this team right now, it looks strong. The fixtures look great. I'm really happy with this team, despite its performance last week. I think there's a real opportunity here to get some points and start to climb those rankings. Fingers crossed. So when I look at this team, there isn't really much I need to do. I've got 1 free transfer. I've got 0.3 million in the bank. And the only real concern for me is whether Luis Diaz is going to start next game week. Now, obviously, not going to make any transfers early this week because there's European games, cup games throughout the week. So there's always the chance of potential injuries. So unless there's an injury or someone's not going to start this week, I'm not looking to make any transfers. Now, there could be a chance that Luis Diaz plays in the Champions League, and there's then going to be a potential minutes risk in the Premier League, because he's actually currently only playing about 70 minutes a game at the moment. But while his fixture looks good, they are the early game on Saturday, so therefore we should get some fixture, some team leaks, so hopefully I'll know whether he's playing. But if he's not playing, then my thought process is to move Diaz to Cole Palmer and then just have Cole Palmer as a long-term hold. Now, obviously, I can't do that in one move because I don't have the money in the bank. So let's look, how would I get Cole Palmer into this team if Luis Diaz is going to be dropped for the early game on Saturday? So moving Luis Diaz, who's currently 8 million, but I bought him for 7.8, so I could only sell him for 7.9, to Cole Palmer, who's 10.7 at the moment and likely to go up to 10.8 before the game week starts, before the transfer deadline. So for me, currently it's 2.8 million and I only have 0.3 in the bank, so I need to find 2.5 million. But if you look at the stats here, if you look at the fixtures, Luis Diaz, happy to play him Crystal Palace away. I even think that Liverpool attack would be good against that Chelsea defence. The Arsenal game is obviously a little bit tougher, and then they get some good run of fixtures from game week 10 onwards. So I've got actually no issues with holding Luis Diaz. It is just that minutes risk, which I talked about when I was wildcarding him in. But I think obviously he's been in great form. If he scores, he's getting double-digit hauls, but then he does get a few blanks in between. So overall, happy to keep him as long as I know that he's still keeping the minutes. As if I get an early leak that he's going to be dropped, I'll be switching to Cole Palmer and taking a -4 this week. Cole Palmer, look at his fixtures this week. He's got Nottingham Forest at home, who look quite good defensively, although I do think that Chelsea attack is looking really strong at the moment. And if he can get on the score sheet, he looks like he gets hungry for it and will score more. They've then got Liverpool away, which is not a great fixture, but I think someone like Cole Palmer has proved throughout last season that he is fixture proof. So there is a potential for returns there. But then after that, Newcastle at home and Man United away, I think both of those defences are easily attackable. And as I said, Cole Palmer would just be a hold in my team because of his Premier status and the fact that he can just go on and get 4 goals in one half, which I feel someone like Saka, doesn't necessarily have that same level of upside, but does have the consistency. So how am I going to fund that? Let's take a look. If we look back at my team, the only real place that I can start to drop, where I've got a lot of value tied up, is in my defence. And I think moving Trent Alexander-Arnold down to a 4.5 million defender frees up 2.6 million, which gives me the money that I need with the money in the bank to be able to move to Palmer in the short term. Now again, I'm only really looking to do this if I know that Luis Diaz isn't going to be playing in game week 7. Otherwise, I can do this move for free in game week 8, given if there's no injuries moving forward. So here, just looking at that, I had a look through the 4.5 million defender range. I could technically go up to 4.6 million. I looked at some of the Nottingham Forest defenders, but their fixtures look quite tough over the next few. But then I saw Mickey van der Ven, only 8% owned in the game at the moment, so a real differential in that. Just got a stunning assist versus Manchester United, where he just ran the whole length of the field. Now that he's back, I think he adds a little bit of solidity to that Tottenham back line. Now, not expecting a huge amount of clean sheets, although they do have 2 already this season in the first 6. But the fixtures coming up, Brighton obviously have a good attack, but they are weakened at the moment with João Pedro out. You've got West Ham at home, who aren't looking great going forward at the moment. Crystal Palace away, who again are not firing at the moment. So, and then Aston Villa at home, which will be a tougher game, but obviously being at home, I think there's an opportunity there. So realistically, I could see potentially 2, maybe 3 clean sheets in the next 4 for that. But obviously, I would be losing someone with Trent, who has a much more attacking upside, much better clean sheet opportunities. So that risk of moving from Diaz, who's a minutes risk, up to Cole Palmer, who looks like he just could be an easy staple, I would have to lose someone who would, like with Trent's attacking threat, to go to someone like Mickey van der Ven on that as well. But that would be, again, only if Luis Diaz I get a leak that he's not going to be playing against Crystal Palace this week. But let me know, guys, who would you pick if you had to drop Trent Alexander-Arnold? Is there another 4.5 or 4.6 million defender that you would be looking at to bring in the short term? Let me know in the comments below. So that's it for this week. Thanks very much, everyone, for watching FPL Fanzone. Again, my team is really struggling right now, so please drop some comments in below. Give me some love. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Leave some comments, which will help with the YouTube algorithms, and I will catch up with you later in the week as we look at some of the other transfer options going into the deadline. Speak to you soon.